Recently, I came across a great infographic, which, if my editing skills are up to par, is sort of nice and big over here at the moment, that was created by James, who is a fellow coach / personal trainer in Chichester. And he talks a lot about the positioning while squatting, why you may be getting lower back pain, and the positions we want to get into for bracing properly, breathing properly, for the most effective and safest way of training. Now, I want to elaborate a little bit on this today, and James caught wind of that, and he didn't want me to just steal his thunder. So, I brought him along. James, why don't you...
Hi.
You done?
Yeah.
Stand over there. You're cramping me up at the minute. You're cramping me up at the minute. So, James, you've got this lovely infographic here. Talk me through, very, very briefly, what you're looking at specifically with that.
What you tend to see in, say, a lot of newbie lifters with the back squat is a lot of people know about breathing and bracing, but it's still, what are they breathing into? So we're looking to get like the diaphragm breathing sort of into the stomach, but it's not just about breathing into the stomach, it's actually expanding as a whole. So you're like filling up a big balloon in your belly, so you're getting 360 dimensional breathing, so into the external obliques and looking out to the lower back as well.
And I think that's why we sort of decided to do this video together, because a lot of times people will talk about breathing into their belly and not breathing into their chest, which is a good start, but oftentimes it's still carried out less than optimally. So we've got a couple of little exercises that you can use to regress that idea and practice this concept. The first thing we want to go through though is exactly what we're looking for. So if I take a slight step in, and excuse the excess amount of skin you're probably about to see, yeah, that'll do. Oftentimes when people go into a squat or a deadlift, we see a big chest expansion here. Now, if I, excuse the excess skin, lift my shirt up a little, you can see, first of all, my nice colourful boxers, but second of all, you can see, why are you standing so awkwardly behind me? That's so fucking weird. It's like Donald Trump at the debates, isn't it, where he follows Hillary Clinton around. He's not used to being on camera, guys. No, you were fine there. It's probably better than you behind me, actually, get you off screen. Yeah, but if I breathe into my chest, you oftentimes see this arch even more pronounced. Now, when we say breathe into our bellies, what we're not necessarily talking about is just dumping the air forward, because it achieves the same thing. If I breathe into my stomach, there, I've still got this big arch here, and I'm pretty loose and slouched here. That's not a good position to be lifting from. What we're looking for is a nice solid cylinder. So to do this, I'm going to take a long exhale and get my hips under me. From that position, why are you so close?
Just do it.
From that position, I'm going to take a deep breath in and try and expand three-dimensionally. We do that once more. Ribs down, abs on. Breathe in. Now, hopefully you can see, that first of all, I've gone bright red and got a bit of a head rush, but you can see not only the front of my midsection pushing forward, but also my lower back expanding as well. So as the air goes in, our rib cage, our entire torso expands three-dimensionally. Now that may be a step too far for some of you, and that's fine. So here are 2 drills I think we've got today. Yeah. 2 exercises you can use that may help. Now the first exercise simply requires a weightlifting belt source. Not too fast about how thick it is. Just don't do it up too tight. You want a little bit of wiggle room in between yourself, your midsection, and the belt. Now you can do this with a training partner, you can do it with a coach, you can even do it yourself, it's just a bit more awkward to do so. I'm going to get James to turn to his right 90 degrees, and I'm just going to take my hand in, and I'm going to slip it down in between the belt and his lower back. No giggles, James. Now, if James takes a pour breath into his chest, do that for me. Then this gap remains, the belt's pretty loose, I can get my hand in and out nice and easy. Not what we're looking for. So as a physical cue, hand goes down. James is going to go for that three-dimensional breathing. He's going to exhale, drop his ribs down, and then he's going to push the air back into my hand, into the belt. He's going to hold it, and now my hand's pretty well stuck in there. No wiggle room whatsoever. Good, relax there. Now this is the purposeful intention with the belt anyway. Get 90 degrees. It's just a very, very good cue, because what it's going to do is teach you to push the air back, push the air to the side rather than just dumping out in front. If you just dump the air out in front, like James. Oh, for fuck's sake, James. What are you doing? James!
Weightlifting belt, that's what it's for.
We're doing a video on breathing. What? Just because you put a weightlifting belt on, you think it's time to do some stupid lateral raises?
Yeah,
But
I'll hold my breath in.
Oh, come on. Well, put them back and let's
I was
go.
bracing.
Put them back and let's go
Even
with
a
the
bracing.
video. Sorry about that. James is just a typical bro. As soon as you put a weightlifting belt on, he wants to start doing bench press and curls. Now, where were we? Oh, James, we don't have time for you to do this. Every time we put a damn belt. Using a weightlifting belt will just give you a physical cue because it can be very difficult to actually get the sensation of what you're trying to achieve. But if you've got a solid implement around you that you're trying to push your midsection out into, that gives you immediate feedback whether you're getting that in or not. Now, for some of you, that may still be a challenge, and that's okay, because the next one is another regression. We're going to go down to the floor, and we're going to get into a 90-90 position, and James, who can put his head out of his arse and get the weightlifting belt off, is going to talk us through what to do next.
Now on to the second drill, hip 90-90 position. This can be done against the wall, but for the video, we're going to do it on the bench. Obviously, you can do it here as well. So Aaron here, he's in this position here, and he probably will naturally, like most people, have their back slightly off the floor. And already I can just see that when he's breathing, it's going straight into his chest naturally. So I'm going to get him to exhale all the way down, and that's going to drive his ribs down. He's going to hold that position, take a bit of tension in his heels, driving that into the bench, and his hamstrings will come on a little bit. So what that stops is you can cheat at what's going on at the pelvis. So all I'm going to get him to do now is going to place his hand on his stomach. He's going to inhale and fill up his stomach, and he's going to squeeze my hand. So if you haven't got someone to do this with, then all I'm going to say here is, Aaron, put your hand under your own lower back. There we go. So he's pushing out, and then he's pushing against his hand under his lower back. So that's the second drill. Hopefully that helps.